Hey there, I'm with SmartThoughts. We're a vendor-neutral advisement firm, and since 2002, we've helped over 200 associations and nonprofits make these tough technology choices, all without taking a dime in vendor commissions. Today, we are digging into Raklet, an all-in-one community builder. So let's see what it's all about.
We get it. Choosing the right tech is a huge deal, and you don't have time to waste. That's why we're going to pack our expert analysis into the next 5 minutes, giving you the key insights to figure out if Raklet is the right fit for your organization. So here's our game plan. First, a quick overview of what Raklet is. Then we'll jump into its biggest strengths. After that, we'll talk about its limitations, or what we call key trade-offs. And we'll wrap it all up with some critical questions you should be asking your team.
All right, let's get right into it. What exactly is Raklet, and who is it really built for?
Okay, so in a nutshell, Raklet is a cloud-based platform for managing your members. It got its start back in 2016 with a pretty clear mission: to help organizations like yours build, grow, and monetize your communities. Now, it's a small and pretty nimble company. We're talking a remote team of about 8 people. But don't let the size fool you. They've got seed funding and backing from some really well-known accelerators like Techstars, which is a great sign that they're doing something right.
So where does it fit into the bigger picture? In our book, Raklet is what we call a Tier 4 system. It's a fantastic place for smaller organizations to start, but it definitely has the potential to grow into that Tier 3 space right alongside you.
And what that really means is it tends to be a perfect fit for associations with operating budgets under, say, $1.5 to $2.5 million. But, just keep in mind that's a rule of thumb, not a hard and fast rule.
All right, now for the good stuff. What really makes Raklet stand out from the crowd? Let's dive into its core strengths. So, where does Raklet really shine? Well, it boils down to a few key things. Giving you your very own branded mobile app, its laser focus on community, an incredible value for price, a surprisingly flexible database that acts like a CRM, and an ecosystem that lets you connect to other tools without needing to be a tech wizard.
And this is really Raklet's sweet spot. Instead of getting bogged down in complicated back-office accounting, it pours all its energy into community engagement. Honestly, think of it as a powerful alternative to a Facebook group, but one where you own everything: the data, the branding, the entire experience. And a huge part of that is their branded mobile apps, which literally put your community right in your members' pockets.
And you know what? People who use it, they absolutely love it. We're talking a 4.7 out of 5. I mean, that's an incredibly high average score, and it really says a lot about how happy their customers are.
And that number isn't just a fluke. It's the average score across all the big peer review sites: G2, Capterra, you name it. And the one thing you hear over and over again from users is just how phenomenal the value is for what you're paying. And let's talk about being flexible. Raklet can connect with over 4,000 other apps through tools like Zapier and Make. That means you don't need a developer on speed dial to get your systems talking to each other. All that rich data then flows right back into its member database, which gives you this awesome timeline of every single interaction, basically a free built-in CRM. For a small team, that is a total game changer.
But of course, no single piece of software is perfect for every single organization. So to get the full picture, we have to look at the other side of the coin. Let's talk about the limitations, or as we prefer to call them, the key trade-offs to consider.
And this is really important to remember. These are not deal breakers. They aren't fatal flaws. They are simply trade-offs that you need to carefully weigh against your organization's specific needs.
Okay, the biggest trade-off is probably in the finance department. Raklet is fantastic for day-to-day stuff, collecting dues, selling event tickets, basic invoicing. But it doesn't offer a deep, comprehensive general ledger integration. So if you've got complex needs like accrual accounting or multiple currencies, you're going to need a separate, more specialized tool for that.
There are a few other things to keep on your radar too. While having a branded mobile app is amazing, some users do wish it had more features. The number of direct native integrations is also a bit limited, so you'll probably be leaning on those Zapier connections. And with a small team of about 8 people, there's a small vendor risk to consider. Finally, as your organization gets bigger and more complex, you might hit a ceiling on advanced customizations, especially for things like large conferences. So, all of this analysis brings us to the most important part of this whole process: the questions you and your team need to answer internally. First up, how important is it really for you to own your community experience? Are you okay with building your community on rented land like Facebook, where you don't control the algorithm or the data, or is having your own branded space a top priority? Next, be really honest with your finance team. Can they get the job done with basic accounts receivable and invoicing tools? Or is it deep, full general ledger integration and absolute must-have, a total non-negotiable for your operations?
And now, let's look down the road a bit. Think about your 3 to 5 year plan. Does your vision for growth involve things that will demand super advanced customization? You need to be realistic about whether you might outgrow this platform's native capabilities.
And that brings us to the final question, which really gets to the heart of it all. Are you looking for a great all-in-one tool that solves your problems right now? Or are you already planning for a future that's going to require a more specialized, best-of-breed platform? That's the real question to think about.